Welcome to Sunshine Scriptures Homescholar. Hi there, I'm Tamara, a proud single mom dedicated to providing the best education for my home scholar. Welcome to my channel. I'll be sharing tips, tricks, and resources I've discovered to help make homeschooling more manageable day to day for me and my student. Let's share, connect, and inspire each other. Join me as we explore and review different curriculums, dive into creative lesson plans that spark curiosity and a love of God's creation, and share both the joys and challenges of homeschooling. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for taking the time to join me today. Today's topic is going to be about setting up your student for success. I believe it's a combination of securing funding, selecting a challenging and enriching curriculum, organizing your supplies and material, and creating a daily schedule and setting aside time for community. Really do try to do your best and stick to that routine once you have one that is working well for your student. When I started our homeschool journey, I was working as a gig driver for DoorDash, Uber, and Lyft. Money was tight and I was really concerned about how I was going to get about $1,000 worth of materials I would need to build a challenging learning plan for my daughter. My friend who years ago I had introduced to Step Up for Students told me how the organization was not only administering scholarships for private school tuition, but they were also administering funds for families that were homeschooling their children. So I applied for the Personalized Education Program, aka PEP component of the Florida Tax Credit Scholarship, also known as the FTC. It is income-based, but the application is fairly simple and easy to complete. Applications are currently open for the 2025-2026 school year. You have prepared your student social number, and any images or files need to be smaller than 5 megabytes. Primarily request proof of residency and proof of income. I personally on my application use my Duke Energy statement and my driver's license. You need that proof of income, so a pay slip, a W-2, or previous year's income tax should do. In my particular case, I also needed to reach out to my daughter's school to get her Florida district or state student ID. It's about 12 characters long. It's not their normal student ID. I'm not sure if all parents are going to be required to do this, but I needed that for my daughter's application. It wouldn't let me submit it without it. This was the first time I completed the application. When I did my renewal, it did not require me to input that, just her social. My income was also low enough that somehow they were able to confirm my income through some kind of back channel. I didn't actually submit any kind of pay stubs at the time that I went ahead and filed my application. I make about $20,000 a year in profit, but my particular form of employment, there's a lot of expenses, gas, insurance, tires. So I get to write all that off, and I just look at my income when it comes profit-wise before I use any of that money for health insurance or other expenses. Once your application is submitted, you'll complete a student learning plan, an SLP, but don't worry, it's pretty simple. You literally go through a series of characteristics and choose them from what is most important to what is least important to you in 2 categories, and you get 2 different screens. One of them, I think you start with how you felt your student, where your student is at, and what your goals are for your student. And then you need to submit a form to your school district that is available on the website, letting the school know that you're pulling out your child from public education for home education, and you're going to be using PEP funding. Like my neighbors next door, because this was my original route, I wanted to do unschooling and still be able to get the funds. I don't know how. Maybe at some point I can actually have her come over for an interview if she would like to do that with me, and she can walk through the process. But my neighbor next door gets the exact same funding, but she has her students in the system with Florida unschoolers. If you want more information on that, I can make a future video, but we're gonna keep moving forward. So for the school form that I had to submit to the district, I was able to download it to my phone and then open it up on a PDF writer and then fill it in with like normal texting, and then use my finger to sign, download it, and then go ahead and email it to the email address I found listed on my school board's website. And that was it. Once you're awarded, you just wait to be funded. They do split the scholarship into 4 parts, funded that way 4 times a year. Unfortunately, I already completed my application, like I said, before I realized I was ready to start this YouTube journey. I am considering making a dummy account once I get myself more set up and I figure out how to screen share, where I can walk you through the application process. I do know that come April, May, no, it's more like May. Yeah, I will be posting a video on how my student took her required norm reference test and how we're submitting it to the platform so that we can receive our funding for next year. You don't need testing when you apply the first year because you're only getting it the first year, but you are required to submit a norm reference test as proof of academic, not necessarily success, but improvement, that homeschooling is working for your student. Now, the other thing that I think is really important as a parent is the student handbook and purchasing guide. Make sure to either print a copy of that or upload a copy of it to a digital reader and read through it cover to cover, highlight, make notes, because you will be referring to that thing all year long. There's a lot of benefits that come with a scholarship, like being able to buy park tickets. Depending on whether you're PEP or UA, you can actually buy devices to help your student. So if your student has any ADHD, autism, they have a separate scholarship called UA, which allows you to not just purchase curriculum, additional supplementary learning devices like laptops, tablets. And now that I had access to money, I had, as they like to say, secured the bag, I needed to figure out how I was going to spend it. My inner geek knew that I had to reverse engineer the problem to figure out the solution. So I went through the list of testing options that are required at the end of the year, the norm reference tests, and I did some research on the prospects. What tests would go well with what curriculum? I decided to use the classical learning test, or the CLT. It is actually administered by age group, so it's not one test for all ages. They have a CLT K, 1, 2, 3, and Sophia will be taking 5, and then all the way 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. For each year that they're supposed to be studying. Once you purchase your ticket, they do have pre-tests that are available. And I think maybe you'll have some access to sample tests before. The best part of all, it was available for purchase directly from the site. So I have mine in my cart right now, and I'm just looking for stuff that I've lost in storage before I order things that I don't need to be ordering. And then I'll go ahead and I'll place my order so that I have my ticket, because the window for the CLT test is from the middle of April till I believe about the end to the middle of May. So the children have a month to take the test, depending on where they're finishing. Looking through these testings and these programs that would match them, I was jotting down the pros and cons and made the ultimate decision to actually start with a classical conversation style instruction. I'm actually not part of an established group, but I've created my own mini group that I hope will grow. And for me, that choice was made because the fees were, the out-of-pocket fees that I could submit for reimbursement were just too much. I could not afford it. And on top of that, the nearest group we have to us would be a 45 to 1 hour drive one way. But I do like the curriculum. I like that the main focus of teaching was already structured and organized, and several items were available actually on the My Scholar shop. So I could use my scholarship money directly and not have to worry about paying for certain things and then submitting for reimbursement. So My Scholar shop is available through the Education Market Assistance. So you get access through a program called Ariba. It's all logged in your platform. Like I said, let me learn some screen share and I'm gonna show you some things. But there were a few moments where I did get some secondhand stuff off of eBay and Mercari for a really great price that I didn't mind not being able to submit for reimbursement. Those secondhand items are not available for reimbursement. When you purchase items, they have to be specifically for your student and they have to be in new condition. But there were some specific items that I was looking for that I did not find on My Scholar shop, but were available through Amazon or Walmart or directly through some of the vendors. You can look through a vendor site and make your little wish list and then go with the item codes onto the My Scholar shop and search for the items with those like supplier IDs and stuff, and they won't pop up. But I've ordered them separately and then submitted the invoice that they send in the email before the item a lot of time has even shipped, and use that to speed up the reimbursement process. But yes, I digress. I really do love classical conversations because, you know, they come with a little book that you go through, which I probably should have. Let me go get it. I'm back. Okay. So this is the foundations book. And it's just so easy. With a little bit of Googling, and in particular on Teacher Pay Teacher, you can find supplemental materials. You have CDs of the memory work songs, but I was able to actually go ahead and find a lot of them available on YouTube. Curriculum is set up. That book doesn't have the Bible component in it, but you can actually Google and find them available online. As I get my Facebook and whatnot set up, I may go ahead and have some of those items downloaded directly to my site so that you can just download them and use them. Curriculum covers Bible, math, Latin, science labs like experiments, English, history, geography, timeline, music theory, music appreciation, and art appreciation. And they have a presentation component that gets students prepared for public speaking engagements. Children can start this program as early as 3 because of the fun songs. The material is broken down into 24-week cycles, and there are 3 cycles. So they'll, like this year, they did year 1. Next year when we start, it's going to be year 2, and the year after that is going to be year 3. My child started a little later, so by the time she's supposed to be starting Foundations 3, she is actually going to be beginning Challenge A because of her age. So what I've decided to do is actually, I'm going to prepare the material so another parent can teach the Foundation Cycle 3, but I'm going to actually do my daughter's Cycle 3 the first 12 weeks in the summer, and then the second 12 weeks at the end of next summer, and then she'll start her challenge component after that. So they will do the cycles in order, and if you are looking to follow a group, or you have an opportunity to maybe like help jump in a group at some point occasionally just to help socialize your child, if your child is interacting with children in your community that are doing classical conversations, I suggest you stay on pace and stay on the correct cycle that they're currently working on so the children have something that they can chit chat about. Kids can start the classical conversation as early as 3, and they'll do the foundations component from 3 up until 9. At 9, they're going to start essentials, which is, you know, building up the writing and grammar component, where they're doing a little bit more research. Like they should still be looking at science books, art books, history books, but they're going to start writing more and using the skills that they've learned in Foundation to learn how to diagram sentences that they've been learning in the English component. They've already been learning some of the information that they're going to need. Now they're going to actually really start digging into it and putting their hands on it. And children will go through essentials until they graduate into challenge at age 12, which is about 7th grade. So even though your child is in Foundation and essentials that repeat the information over and over and over for a series, every time they touch that material as they're getting older, the goal is to help them dig deeper and deeper into the material as they learn more skills and have the ability to master more material. Like I said before, I love Teachers Pay Teachers. I have used some of the materials created there, and I've actually begun to upload things that I am beginning to create as I'm finding that, you know, I need to do memory work with a kind of certain way. I figure she's not the only one. Whoever needs it can purchase it, and it helps fund everything that we're trying to work here on our end. Yes, we have scholarship money, but making YouTube videos takes time. To be honest, making those charts and making Jeopardy questions also take a lot of time. I spend about a day and a half preparing my student. Well, yeah, you know, closing up what she did last week, putting up her new binder, making the charts for when I'm gonna instruct the children, and make the Jeopardy game. I don't particularly want to do that on the weekend because we're really, like I said in my initial video, we're really beginning to spend a lot of time together and play games and read to each other, and I want to be focused on that time. Teachers pay teachers. Sometimes you find what you're looking for. People are so kind and generous. They post material on there for free, and then sometimes you pay a nominal fee. The best part is that all these digital resources that we purchase on TPT are available through reimbursement through the scholarship. There's actually a drop down on the menu for digital products, and I've had several things that I did have to purchase reimbursable. Me personally, I've heard of a lot of people having a long time waiting for reimbursements. I've had a few hiccups, but it's nothing that I've never been able to resolve with a kind email. And I guess it's all about how you talk to people. Sometimes I see how people talk in the chat and I'm like, I wouldn't help you either. Sorry. Be nice. Be nice. Don't be passive. Be aggressive. Be thoughtful. Be mindful. We're not making a TikTok video right now, but no, honestly, be kind. Be kind, but be aggressive. So the first term, I had the kids just watching the videos, and then after a break, we would review the information. Like I do like a little quiz of the information we had learned the previous week, and then we would have a lunch and a snack and go home. We had planned for presentation, but with our group, we were just struggling to even get there. The limited time and schedule that was available for the parents that were participating. And a lot of the times we would start at 10 a.m. and we'd be done anywhere from noon to 2, just depending on how the kids were feeling that day. I shared with the moms work pages I found to help the children color, fill in the blank, crossword puzzle, and quiz throughout the week, and the same. You know, if one of the moms found something, they would share the link in a little private Facebook group page that we had linked up through our church. Okay, so when we first started our journey, my grandmother, unfortunately, we found out she had lung cancer, and I became her primary caretaker. So I spent quite a bit of time actually searching through YouTube's, and through our church YouTube page, I created weekly playlists of the videos in order of the material. So there was a Bible song video, and then that'd be followed by the math song video, so on and so forth. I had that just all in one playlist that the girls would be able to access and have their kids watch. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, before dinner, like just play those songs. Like learning through osmosis was definitely the one thing that it worked for a lot of the kids. My daughter's a little too old. She was like, I'm not having it. So she would listen to it because it did create the pattern and memory work for her. But she didn't enjoy it. She really didn't enjoy it as much as the little kids who would dance and jump, you know, do what little kids do. But I feel that when it came time to do her worksheet, sometimes if she could pace the song through her head, it would help her be able to complete the information on them. I'm going to do interviews with the other parents, but initially what I suggested was for the younger kids, moms break down the material and cover 2 or 3 subjects a day over a 4-day period. But again, to make sure they listen to the songs all weekend before they started worksheets on Monday, since we met on Fridays. I suggested we all keep portfolios storing work in either weekly batches or by subject in chronological order. I also suggested that they supplement with grade-specific math, reading, and handwriting practice. And that's basically how we organized our Foundations kids. My daughter and my friend's daughter are the only 2 that are currently working through the Essentials material. In the description box below, I did include 2 really great videos on how Classical Conversations parents, and I think one of them is actually a tutor, suggested their student notebook. Essentials is also abbreviated as EEL in the program. Their EEL student resource notebook, or binder, because you can do it in a binder or in a notebook. I did organize it that way the first term, but it was a struggle for us because the girls were also learning foundation, not just the EEL material. And it was just a little bit too much for them to manage because they'd never even been homeschooled before. Now that we're in the second term, my friend did have her EEL student on a 4-day schedule, but on a 6. Because the girls are learning foundation at the same time, we did not put them through IEW or LTW or any of those other writing programs, which shout out to Top Score Writing. I love her program as well. I'm definitely going to be using her resources further down the line as we begin our writing journey. I do still have my daughter's EEL binder set up, but I also bought her a supplementary 12 pocket spiral binder. Sometimes you'll also see them called spiral portfolios. So basically I gather all her work. Her binder is listed Monday through Saturday. Monday through Thursday, I give her about 10 to 14 pages. And then on Fridays and Saturdays, she gets anywhere from 3 to 6 pages. The Monday through Thursday material is very, very heavy. While Thursday and Friday, it's usually fun little science activities, art activities, little leisure things that she could do to help her unwind. So based on my daughter's needs, she does a grade level math unit per week. She does number knockout once per week. She does calculator drills 4 times a week, so Monday through Thursday, just to help build her speed and fluency with basic math, multiplication, division. I think eventually it goes up to exponents. Right now, I believe we're at level 4, but we're almost done finishing level 4, and then we're going to be moving into a level 5. And to be honest, I think I'm going to be keeping those and just keeping them on rotation even through high school and stuff, because it's just about kids' brain flex to spit out those numbers quickly. We're also learning abacus. We started with a child's abacus. It's around here somewhere. It's not there right now, but we have a child's abacus, and then I'm going to end up moving her into the Chinese abacus, and then I'm going to be moving her into the Japanese abacus. Let's see, she does spelling through what's on the EL book once a week. She's a really great speller, to be honest. So basically right now, there's just one day a week where I pull out the sheet. I ask her all the words, columns 1, 2, and 3. My goal is any that she missed over the summer, I'll actually create vocabulary and spelling tests to go with whatever. I think I'm gonna have her do a writing program, or maybe just handwriting exercises over the summer, and she'll combine those two so that she can work on her handwriting and work on those words that she missed throughout the year. But to be honest, she didn't even start missing any words till like the last week. And on a weekly basis, she's missing only 1 or 2 words. So I'm sure we'll fly through that quickly. She is required to do reading, where she logs her reading, and at the end she completes a book review. She's required to read 3 times a week. She does physical fitness activities with a log 2 times per week. She does personal development once a week. So personal development is devotional, anger management, manners. I have some books here. Let's see, what else do I have up here? How to win friends and influence people. It's the only ones I have here. I know I have some more of them in my room. But just little skill building units to help her long term have those social skills and finance skills, personal management, brainstorming. I have a series of things that I've collected and I'm setting aside, and we're working our way through those one at a time. And then she does do 1 chapter a week out of each biblioplan, story of the world, and the world story. I think history is very important. In high school, I remember my AP history teacher said that people that don't know history are bound to repeat it. If you know something's going to end a certain way, why not change the game and not do that? Yes, I keep my daughter very busy, but she is also very, very smart. And idle hands are the devil's playground. It seems like 10, 14 pages is a lot, but she can get all that work done in about 2 or 3 hours. And then she's on the phone watching brain and dog water, as the kids like to say. Oh, I was actually typing up the script last night, and when I said that, she's like, "You're so mean, you're so embarrassing." If it embarrasses you, change it, was my response. Sometimes we just gotta be that way with our kids. If you don't like the perception people have of you, change who you are as a person. I digress. Thankfully, she is very competitive, and I can always pull her out off the phone through a game of either Catan or Sequence or Connect 4 or chess. And then we do have that activity where we take turns reading chapters out of a book to each other. At least if it's an hour less that she's on the phone, it's an hour less that she's on the phone. I do understand, because she doesn't have she doesn't have siblings, and she doesn't have time to go out and hang out with kids that have similar preferences as her all the time. You know, her connection to people sometimes is through chats or games. So I let her have it a little bit, but I am trying to rein it in. I want my daughter to have that classical education feel of not just being in a structured classroom 24/7. Like as a kid, I remember reading Anne of Green Gables, Little Women, a Little House in the Woods or something like that, where like just these classical period books. And I loved, you know, the timeless traditions that they had as a family, and that we can still enjoy those today and use them as an example to build family connection time. Because even I sometimes need to be honest with myself, and I need to put the phone down or step away from the computer. And it's just a fact of life. The Relentless Something of Hurry. You know how long I've had that book and I've been meaning to read it and I haven't gotten to it? Like, it's not fair. It's ridiculous. Okay, so now we get to the routine. So yes, she can do her work in 2 or 3 hours, but what does a daily routine look like? To be honest, there's no fixed schedule at this point. I start the morning when I wake up. I take her phone so that she doesn't have access to it first thing when she wakes up. I begin doing chores until she wakes up. She'll join me in doing some of the chores, and then we'll have something to eat. She'll move on to her schoolwork. And then once that's completed, she gets on her phone and she's done. When I find a stopping point in whatever I have going on for the day, we play a game or spend some time reading together. And that's about it. Over the next few weeks, I am going to be working on this nighttime evening routine. I actually do have some items in my cart to help build devotional time in the morning and devotional time in the evening. The only real days of the week that we have structured in the evening time are Tuesday, because she has worship dance practice, followed by I have corporate prayer. She does dance. Wednesdays because we have Bible study. It's crazy to think, like she said it to me the other day and I was like, what? Oh, youth group. But yeah, next year she's going to be a 6th grader and she'll be participating in youth group while I'm in Bible study. Either way, I know over the next few weeks, as I finish getting my house ready to rent, I need to make sure to take more time to take her to the library, to get her into groups where she can interact with more kids her own age. I hope that there were a few things that you felt resonated with the goals of the vision that God is giving you for your family. While my primary goal is to teach my daughter about God's creation, a close second is definitely building and creating a community. I'm going to try to post videos bi-weekly at minimum. I will be posting how-to videos, interviews with fellow homeschooling parents and students, resource reviews and lessons. My daughter is a 5th grader, but we also talk to parents that have younger and older kids. My next video will actually probably be the walkthrough of how we're currently running through the material, which I gave a little mention of that before. I create charts, and we review the weekly material on a homemade Jeopardy game, which I'm saving all the information on a spreadsheet, and if I can organize it all nice and neat, maybe that's something that I can sell through Teachers Pay Teachers, because Avery does sell printer sheets of 3x5 index cards, and there's more interaction there. I'm hoping to be able to provide you links directly through Amazon as I start introducing that information. Until the next video, be sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss when I'm ready to post.